Microphone activated.
Are you doing the sim race, Asia's race, Victor?
Yes. Just started to practice.
Microphone muted. Microphone activated.
Yeah, should be interesting if we can survive the first lap.
Yeah. We should do pit stop, start, let the other.
What, give them 3 laps and then see who survived?
Yeah.
Microphone muted.
So the biggest challenge isn't going to be the wandering car, although that won't help. It's going to be whether the wandering car, in conjunction with the ping we're going to have on this server, is going to cause netcode contacts up and down the field, especially for us international drivers. Excuse me, sorry. Got greedy. Didn't actually wait for the car to settle down before I decided it would let me just floor it out with that last turn. Left front had clipped the curve, so the car was probably still bouncing, oscillating a little bit.
Sorry about that.
I think having the engine at the rear of this car really helps it come down the mountain. As long as you get your brake balance right and just tap it at the right time, you're literally just steering the weight and letting the car fall down the mountain, and it just turns into the apex really well. See, that's all I wanted to do last lap. Took more speed off through there than I normally would. Didn't get that right. Didn't get it right at all. However, even so, it wasn't that sector that cost me. It was 2. Again, earlier part of the lap that cost me. Absolutely no chance that I'm going to race at this pace. Would be nice. It's not going to happen.
Car off the track on the left. Keep going, keep going.
I really don't care about how fast the guys up front are. If I can get anywhere near my optimal race pace and just consistently register those times, stay out the wall, stay out of trouble, I'll take wherever I finish. Okay, so what? Got another hour plus of practice. For some reason the heart rate monitor on the phones decided to stop working for the morning. It was working earlier. Now it's not, but hey. It's the least of my concerns at the moment.
Right side. Clear him. left side. All clear, my man.
Tyres still aren't warm enough for that. Thanks. Broke far too early in there. Damn it. Got the braking wrong. Yeah, that's with what should be race fuel, so pretty happy with that. Session should have been 205.3 so far, but didn't clear the lap. But it's fine. Got the a 5.1 so far in practice this week, but that's still a second off the optimal. Would just be good if I could keep that initial pace from practice going through the race, because if you've been if you've seen any of my races in the series so far this season, you'll know they haven't gone well. Net codes, taps in the rear, you name it, mistakes from myself, all sorts, all resulting in losing places or God knows what. So yeah, just a clean race would be nice. Just putting the Twitch stream link onto our Facebook page. Yep, I think with an 18 wing. Let's have a look. Yep, an 18 wing. I'd much rather the car was stable across the top of the mountain than be rapid or anything like that down the straights. I know there will be a number of cars that are set up just to be slippery as hell, but for me, the time in my lap is getting across the top of the mountain. So I'd much rather focus on keeping the car nice and stable, glued to the track. If it means I lose places down the straight, I lose places down the straight. But you've got to stay on the track first of all to get a decent lap in. So where are we? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, I'll jump back on track in a second. Just need to share this post. Get as many people that have nothing to do this morning watching, whether it's here or the live stream that will go up just towards the end of quali, I think it will be. Let's have a look, where are we? Okay, so that's that done. Let's get back on track. If I can qualify around 10th or top half, wow, just so that car in the mirror lose it. Top half of the grid, I'll be happy with that. If I can qualify within a 10th of my PB, I'll be satisfied. If I can qualify with a PB, I'll be elated. And then we'll take it from there. Because the last race, I think VIR, I felt really comfortable. And a lot of people don't like that track because it just takes so much concentration. It's all about rhythm. But unfortunately, I had a netcode tap in the rear into the penultimate hairpin, which dropped me again down to the back of the field. Managed to recover, again just by staying on the track really, to finish, probably finish in the same position I was in when I had that shunt. So all in all, I was quite satisfied with the finish. If I'm honest, I think it's probably the best I was going to finish in the race anyway. And Bathurst for me is a similar track across the top of the mountain. It's more for me about rhythm than putting your foot down. So if you can maintain a rhythm pretty much all the way from the top of the mountain until you get onto the conrod, you can just gap the car behind, break the draft, and then it doesn't matter how fast they are down the straights. If they can't stave you across the mountain, you can eventually leave them, and that's what I'm hoping happens, that I get a nice piece of track to settle into, concentrate on, not be distracted by the car in front blocking my view of my apex, and not to have someone behind me desperately trying to get past because they're faster, doing something impatient on lap 1. And above all that, hope I don't make a stupid mistake that then derails someone else's race. So 50 minutes remaining. Practice. With about 20 minutes to go, I'll start doing Q runs. But for now, I want to get a good fuel number to work with, so I can figure out where and when I'm going to need to stop in the race and how much I'm going to need to take on board to finish. Thank you, whoever followed. Hi Tarek, it's a Thrustmaster T500 RS. I have to admit it's the best wheel I've owned. For me, the feedback's really, whoa, tactile, and progressive. So, oh, thank you for the new follow. I forgot I've got that sound file on that lets me know someone's followed, and it's quite loud. I almost put the car in the wall. Yeah. And that's what I don't want to do in the race. A round one. Yeah, before this I had a G25, which I loved. I put a brake mod on it. What one was it? Perfect Pedal. Which was a hydraulic load cell brake. And that made a huge amount of difference. Allowed me to get a little, well, not a little, a lot more consistent with my braking. But then I went from that to the G27 and thought, wow, so much difference in the steering wheel. Just because it was smoother, it wasn't clunky. And by clunky, what I mean is with the G25, there'd be moments where the wheel transmitted force feedback to you over, I don't know, oscillations, or undulations I should say, in the road or clipping a curb. It would be like you could feel the gears going through the cogs, whereas you went to the G27 and it felt much smoother. But then going up to this,
very slow on the left.
With the belt drive, it's so smooth. It was night and day compared to the G27. And I consciously made the decision not to change the default wheel as well, because the diameter of the wheel being as large as it was made steering inputs much more precise for me. Again, can only say this based on me, an average sim racer. But putting those together with the Fanatec V2 pedals, and again the load cell brake that comes with that, I think has seen me get to a point where I'm probably driving the best and most consistently that I have at any time that I've been sim racing. That's about 20 years. So if you're looking for a wheel, it's a good one. If you're looking for pedals, I love the V2s. Messed up that turn though. Need to remember to let the tyres warm up and come up to pressure before I try and go through turn 2 with the same amount of throttle input I would once the car has settled in. Otherwise, as you've seen, the car will just wander out to that outside wall, and I really don't want to hit any walls today. The funny thing about Bathurst for me when racing here is because you have to give the track limit so much respect. It's one of those tracks which is probably one of the most difficult, but if you finish it, the track where you're most likely to get to the end of 0x's, because a 0x here, even the contact where you don't get an off-track penalty, is likely to bend your car somewhere, steering, suspension arm, something, and it's a long way back to the pits. So people that have their head screwed on drive to the track limits rather than thinking that they are the greatest sim racer the world has ever known. 2 missed apexes, 4 tenths down. Did it again. Got in the power way too soon. Way too soon. Really don't know why the heart rate sensor's not updating the phone. It was this morning. I can only imagine the battery's on its way out, but I've only had the battery in a couple of months, and normally they last ages, so I will remove the battery in a sec, put it back in, and see if that makes any difference. It's my teammate, Victor. Time's he on? 2055. Be interesting to see if they're on low fuel or race fuel. If they're on race fuel, then fair play. Hopefully they're not. If they're all on race fuel, I may be tempted to break my own ground rules and just start behind them and let them go. I don't like starting the race from the pits. I think, what's the point? Unless you've had a penalty, why would you start from the pits? Get on the track. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, starting from the pits if you haven't been penalised, although I completely understand the trying to avoid the the turn 1, lap 1 heroes. It just gives up so much of an advantage to the rest of the field, and I personally don't think it does anything for your confidence. You're much better off just getting in the mix. If you get taken out, you get taken out. But you give your reflexes and instincts an opportunity to get used to the hectic mayhem that is the start of a race. I think starting in the pits just gives yourself even a false sense of security that once you do finally take to the grid, means you're less prepared when you get together with like top split drivers who will slit your throat into turn 1. They won't do it dangerously, they just won't hesitate because they expect the cars around them to be driven by people who can keep their car where it's supposed to be, but are also racing at the same level as them. So I hope I don't break that rule and decide 5th race I would like to finish. So
In front of you, in front of you, in front of you, in front of you. Car on the right.
but the reason I think I won't do it is because all of my mishaps so far this season have meant I've ended up being at the back of the grid after a few laps, having to try and catch up, and it has annoyed me no end. There you go. What chance I do that during the race? Yeah, I agree with you, Ozzy. Absolutely no point start. I think my teammate is considering starting from the pits. Not Victor, Christoph, but that's because he hasn't gotten as much practice this week as he would like, so he doesn't feel as confident in himself, not the other drivers. So I think he's doing it more so to ensure he doesn't cause anyone else any problems. But other than that, yeah, just get on the grid, because you can also cause yourself more problems starting from the pit lanes anyway, because you put yourself towards the back, and who knows how many cars ahead of you are gonna do something like that. Let's see if that straightened the car out. Let's not be silly. Yeah, who knows how many cars ahead of you are going to... Oh, thank you for the follow. They're going to do something equally as daft as I just did. And then there you go, coming out the pit lane thinking, I've avoided all the trouble, nice clean track, and come across the pile-up that you would have avoided if you'd have just started on the grid. Hey, NASCAR crashes more. This weekend, what I'm going to have to do is make sure I don't spend too much time after this race running laps around here just trying to get a faster time, blah blah blah, which is an ego thing. Need to start thinking about the Gathering of Tweakers endurance race at Interlagos, the support race for the Neo 6 hours, so that myself and my teammates, Rain Estrellas and Victor Draveguard, who's in this race, are as prepared as possible.
Very slow on the left. In front of you. He's rolling.
But also start dialing myself back into the V8, because I noticed this morning that the V8 Supercars online Premier Series has announced the start date, and since I haven't driven the V8 since maybe round 1, round 2 of this season, it's going to take me a while to get back up to speed. When I set to speed, up to my speed, which is 1.5 seconds-ish off the top times. Otherwise, never making it past pre-qual for the Premier Series races. Got that wrong. Okay, so by now I should have Class D drivers. Yeah, if you mean tips as in racing rather than which series, The tip that I always see and I have to agree with is don't worry about your I rating or your safety rating. Just practice, get comfortable in the car, whichever car it is you choose to race, and then just race. Race to be clean, race to have fun, race to finish, and let your safety rating and I rating take care of itself. And also, it sounds so simple and it's easy to say at this point, but don't be in a hurry to get out of D class. Definitely be in a hurry to get out of rookies. Rookies is a sharp tank, but when you get into the Ds, if you find a car you really like, so for instance, let's say you race the Skippy and you really like it and you're having fun and the racing's entertaining and satisfying, stay there. Don't be in a hurry to jump up into C class and Global Challenge and B class, GT3. If you want to, fine, but myself and a number of other drivers I've seen post have all lamented rushing out of the Skippy class because some car was launched and it looked nice and shiny and thought, oh, I want to be in that series, and then missed the great racing that was had in the lower echelons. Especially since the Skippy, for instance, teaches such brilliant racecraft and car control, because the speeds are a bit lower, but you don't have loads of downforce making it easier for you. Ooh, got the left side onto the white lines and the car just did not slow the way it should have. Might just been a placebo effect, might be that I didn't brake properly, but I just had visions I was about to impale the car in the wall. So we've got about 30 minutes left of this session, so I'm going to take a comfort break and go to the gents. Also get some juice or water or something. Then come back, figure out my fuel number, which should now be displayed in the iSpeed readouts. 5-lap average should be whatever it's going to be. And then take the fuel out and try and replicate my PB. Quite happy though, because forget my optimal, just take that for a second and forget it. The optimal's not draft assisted or anything, it's just nailing every sector, which isn't going to happen for a while. So taking that aside, I'm quite happy that in race trim for this race at least, I'm only 3/10 slower than when I put 10 litres in the car. It's just by doing things like that, hooking up the apex and nailing the exit. get that comfort brake. I saw that coming from the moment I knew I was faster through there. You can see it here. Because the right side of the car was up on the curbs, right there, I wasn't across to the left far enough, went too far in, carried too much speed, bang, the car's now narrower than it was. Yep, no problem, see you later. Okay, so I will be back in 2 seconds. I'm just going to go to the toilet.
There's been a fatality.
Okay, still no idea why we have no heart rate monitor. It's annoying. We've tried everything. Oh well, if it doesn't want to play, it doesn't want to play. So let's have a look, see what the average fuel burn is around here. 3.2 0.25 litres per lap. We're going to do 45 minutes. So let's get the calculator out. So 45 minutes. Let's say it's more likely I'll do 107 race laps. So we're going to do probably 40 laps. Need 129 litres. Let's do that again, it doesn't sound right. So 45 minutes divided by 67 second race laps. Yeah, that's right. Okay, 130 litres. Litres. Okay. That's what it is, that's what it is. Doesn't sound right. Oops, forgot. We're doing Q laps now. Last race I didn't take tyres, but that's because it was one stop. Whereas if I have to stop twice, I probably will take tyres. It might mean giving up time, but if giving up time means keeping the car out of the wall.
Start spot net entry.
Well, we're still in the pit lane. How comes I hit him?
That's alright. Just turning the brake.
Hey, no problem. Sorry. I was just saying, we're still in the pit lane. I didn't expect that I'd actually be able to hit you anyway. Okay, so
Microphone activated.
hey Victor, have you worked out your fuel burn rate yet?
Microphone muted.
Thanks for the follow.
Microphone activated. Microphone muted.
.2 litres per lap. Just doesn't sound right. But hey ho, what I'll do anyway is full tank, run it empty. Full tank, run it empty, see where we are. When I say full tank, we're limited to 40 litres. Yeah, I know. I know I've done my sums wrong. And I know exactly what I've done. Sorry, my fault. I know exactly what I've done. Anyone that saw me work it out should have spotted it as well. This is what I did. And it's my own fault for rushing. So, what I should have done was 45 minutes divided by 127 second laps. I don't know where I thought I was going with that. I'm going to get around this place in a Porsche or rough, whatever we want to call it, in 1 minute 7 seconds. So that's 21.2 laps, yep. at 3.22 litres, 68. So let's go 69 litres, 70 to be safe. So I need to put in 30 litres at the stop, which makes much more sense and is in line with every other race so far this season. So wow.
Microphone activated. Microphone muted.
I just wrecked Alex when he was about to do a 203.5 second lap. Yeah, Rossi. It's not so much that my maths is dreadful, it's just that because I did it quickly and wasn't concentrating, all I focused on was the seconds on the lap time rather than the minutes. And since most of the time you're lapping in the 1 minute something, and I think the last Sim Race Asia's race I ran was Donington National, which was a 1 minute something second lap. So I just, even though I was saying to myself, are you kidding? That doesn't sound right. With regards to the fuel burn per lap, thinking that the lap's much longer than that, and seriously, we're not going to get around here 45 times in 45 minutes. Are you kidding? And it was like my brain was having a Homer Simpson moment, just waiting for me to catch up. Going,
Don't worry, mate. I'm right. We've won Pete before.
thinking, duh. Okay, so 17 minutes to go. If I can PB, I might get somewhere near the top 10.
Pit this time, pit, pit, pit.
Damn it, started looting the car. Tyres weren't ready for there, just didn't bite.
Keep your eyes open. Stay on your toes. Keep coming.
So anytime I made up to turn 1, I'm sure I lost. Sorry, turn 2. I'm sure I lost through turn 2. Wish I hadn't have looked at that delta now. Completely messed up. Final sector. but got the PB. And it was clean. Oh, if only I could do that on the first lap of qualifying. Okay, so I need to clear the track at a place where I won't hold up the cars behind me. Hey, Chimpy Man. That's payment to get the game subscription for 3 months, and you get some base default content in there, so you can still race. It's just that at the end of the 3 months your subscription expires, so you can no longer access the game or its content. You don't ever lose it unless they delete your account for some conduct penalty. So you can let your account expire. If you then resubscribe, everything that you bought or licensed, we should say to be more accurate, is still there for you. No, you won't get banned if you link. It's just I don't know if the channel lets people link. Yeah. Thanks for the follow. Okay, so more practice. Yeah, no, so you don't get banned if you link in the chat. You will get banned if you use language that's inappropriate, but just set it to try and avoid people randomly spamming it. Yep, there's never any problems coming back. As long as you resubscribe to the same account, all your content's still there. Look how much time I lost in the final sector, and all it was messing up my entry into the chase. I thought about it too much. I thought too much about making sure I didn't miss the apex on the left, which I did completely, and then tried recovering. And then if you were looking closely, you would have seen I still could have got away with it. I don't know what the Delta was saying, but from experience I still could have got away from it. But I then got my trail braking slightly wrong into the final turn, and the car skipped a little on the apex, which meant I had to hesitate driving out of the last turn across the line. Okay, so cold tyres, Mark. Think cold tyres. See how it's just wandering away from the apex, just doesn't have that bite yet. Shouldn't have looked. But look at that, faster, and gave up 4 tenths, well 2 tenths through there, maybe 3 tenths by being scruffy. Did it again, missed the apex. Let's see if we can.
Keep your eyes open. Stay on your toes.
However, as I said, if I can lap like this in qualifying, I'll be happy. Car was spinning then, just didn't lift out.
In front of you now. Keep your eyes open. Keep coming.
Be gone, be gone, be.
Sorry, dude. We really didn't have a choice, man. If we'd have pitted, we'd have been in the same position.
Look at that, sector 1. See, I've got the same problem I always have. Yep. My optimal is usually, once I get hooked up, good enough to probably get me top 25 in the overall rankings. But that's only once I get up to speed in a car and really feel comfortable with it, confident, so I'm no longer worrying about the car. I'm just maximizing apex speed, getting my braking right, track out and all that rubbish. And then once I'm up to speed for track and I don't have to worry about any of that, I can just concentrate on getting more from the car. When I get to that point, I have a decent optimal. It's just putting it together. I either make a mistake myself and choke, or, as with the last lap, start nailing sectors and come across traffic. To the guy spanny, can't help it, everyone's going to spin. All I was hoping was that the sim racing gods would be kind to me and say that he had his finger on the escape, and that his car was going to disappear just when I got there. So he didn't do anything wrong, can't blame him, I'm not bothered. It's my own fault. I gambled, I rolled the dice, and you wouldn't do that in real life, but I gambled and went with the whole Days of Thunder. Just drive through it. Could you get any closer? Yeah. Yeah, I may have hit him hard then. Might need to open a window in a second, get some air running through here. See, if I'd have got that lap in, as I said, I could have been top 5. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. He says, butchering the quote just as much as he butchered the lap. Okay. How we didn't just impale the wall, I have no idea. Because that back started moving. Optimal for the lap, for the session I should say, is now 204.3. That was all on that lap where I definitely killed that guy. See, that's how I want to take there without the curb clip. And if I could take there like that on the last lap of the flying lap. Going to pay for that all the way up the straight. Offline. Took a risk to try and get some of that time back. So of course, the session's going to end. Okay, so what chance I can do that in qualifying? Let's open the window.
everybody. We're going to pitch in about 4 laps. 4 laps.
So you want to get this timed right as well. If I didn't have to open the window, I'd have bombed out the pits, because you either want to be the first person out so you can get around and get back to the start-finish line before people have started to pile out of the pits on the start of your flying lap, or come out towards the back and be on the other side of the circuit to everybody else. Because it's a cliche in motorsport, but it happens just as much in sim racing. On a track this big, this long, you are very much likely to catch cars all over the place when you'd rather the track was empty. And it's like, how can I not? It's like, yeah, how can I not get a clean lap on a track? Though, forgive me, but when I cross the start-finish line, I'll shut up so I can go balls to the wall and try and nail my first lap. Yeah, Ozzy, that's the plan. See, Richard now's got a choice. He either backs off, so he's got a clean lap, or...
But we're going to be ready to pit here. Bring it on to pit this time. Bring it on to pit this time.
tried to bomb past me. Now, I think he's too close. I think he should have been further back. Tyres are still cold, car's sliding a bit, which is what I think caught Richard out. Not going to look at my delta. It'll just distract me. Don't think I'm near my PB lap, but if I can at least bank this one.
Hey, Richard, you're on your outlet, buddy, please. Thanks, mate.
Okay, I'll take that. If that's the banker lap, I'll take that. Okay. Take that as well. It's probably my best qualifying run ever. As in getting in the session, laying down an opening lap. The fact that I should have done a 2047 is irrespective. Based on the challenge and difficulty level of the track, I'll take those 2 opening laps any day of the week. As I said, probably the best 2 initial laps I've ever done in a qualifying session on road. And a few weeks ago, I think I said on the stream, the banker laps for me dictate how the rest of my session goes. If I don't get the banker lap in and set a decent one, psychologically I think I can go to pot chasing PBs or at least decent times all the way through the session, but also with a little bit of reticence because I'm afraid if I don't get the lap in, I've blown the session. But any session where 2/1000ths off your PB in your first Q run just gives you freedom to do what you like for the rest of the session. Bad gear change. So let's just use this lap to pretty much get round to the start finish line, nothing more. I bet you some of the aliens up there take this all flat with maybe just a breathe, and they've probably got more oversteer in their cars, so it doesn't ever look like they're going to hit that wall. Okay, something's going up now with my connection. Ping's going up through the roof.
Thanks, Matt.
Thought no one was in the house actually. Let me just check this. Yeah, 2 seconds, I'll be back.
Sorry.
I think someone's just come in, maybe started streaming or downloaded something, so I just need to double check if they might pause it for the race.
Sorry, Charles.
No, looks like it's just... Actually, what I'll do is I'll stop and restart the stream, just in case the issue's anywhere here. We're only dropping about 1.5% of the frames, but let's just do that and restart it.